Diamond, 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 yeah. Oh yes, I am shining like a diamond, 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 yeah. Oh yeah, I am shining like a.
Good evening. Welcome to this special live broadcast where we celebrate the life of our very own award winner. And when we say celebrate the life, I don't mean to make this sound like he is no more, because he's certainly here. If not, the BBC would be in panic mode right now, and so would many Zambians who have joined him in celebrating a milestone achievement. I'll be hosting the Diamond TV head of productions, three-time Miss Award winner, and now 2022 Komla Dumor Award winner. And the latter is a first for Zambia, the first for a Southern African personality, Southern African journalist, and we'll be speaking with him as the show carries on. And probably you'll want to make some congratulatory messages, and we'll open up the phone lines for you to do so. My name is Chimweka, and for me, probably will be a tough conversation because he's a very close friend of mine, and I've tried by all means to not reveal some of his secrets and try by all means at some points to keep a serious face on. But we'll see how that goes throughout the show. Allow me to welcome Dingindaba Jonah Buyoya. Already he's laughing. I don't even understand. Already he's laughing.
Yeah, well, that's because you know that every time that you and I are in a space, even the most unfunny things turn out to be funny. So this is, I'm also getting used to this. It's just a bit awkward. Yeah.
I'm really excited to host you. I've never hosted you before, have I?
No, have we ever been on the same set?
We have, actually. When Diamond TV just started, the breakfast show. We actually did the breakfast show together at some point with one Raycast Mumbi.
Oh, okay.
And a man who would call Mr. Mumbi right on the set, right there.
Mr. Mumbi.
But great to have you here, Jonah. Yeah. I know it's been an interesting 2 days for you, a very busy day it was for you yesterday. And we'll talk more about that. I'd like for us to start with taking you back memory lane.
Okay.
When we first met, this may sound a bit awkward, but when we first met in 2017 here at Diamond TV, you just came through. And before that, there was a video that you had posted on your social media where you were casting the news at your former workplace, GOtv. Yeah. And this went viral right here at Diamond TV. The CVO wanted to see you. Everybody's talking about this Jonah. But let's start off from there. Your interest with newscasting. How did this start?
My interest with newscasting. I think it's safe to say that my interest with newscasting was developed by another person because it was a huge coincidence, actually. I was working at an internet cafe here in Lusaka. And when I was working there was somebody that used to visit that internet cafe pretty often. And he used to tell me that I was well-spoken and I should give a shot at a radio station because he knew somebody that had a radio station. But, you know, this is somebody that used to come to that internet cafe pretty often. So I was thinking, this is just talk and talk is cheap. But one day he said this in front of my cousin who was so enthusiastic about the media. He was so interested in, you know, his media and he wanted to start singing and stuff like that. So one day, when we were leaving my workplace, going home, because I used to live at their home, he requested that we pass through Findeko House where Comet Radio was located, the radio station that was being recommended, because he wanted to audition. So we got to the place, he did his audition, I was sitting at the reception, and while he was doing his audition, the gentleman that was auditioning him came and said, well, you don't want to try? You are not going to lose anything. It's free, so you could just try. So I'm like, why not? So I went ahead and they gave me a news script to read. So I read it out and we both left. It was a Saturday. Sunday, they called me and they told me to go to the radio station. So I went to the radio station, I think around 12. I thought we were going to have like some sort of conversation. Before I knew it, and you know how like media houses, Sunday is not like full house, you know, you just have like part of the newsroom, and the editor was making news and brings me news like at 14:30 and tells me I'm doing the news summary at 15. had not even been employed by these people, but I did it anyway. And that's how it started. The following day, they offered me a job, and I had to move on from where I was. That's how I developed the interest. So it's something I could argue chose me instead.
Now, the video that we saw, you're probably pretty confident in yourself by the time you shared that video. And I remember the caption was, youngest newscaster in Zambia. And I'll be very honest, when I saw the video, I found it a bit difficult to believe that this was in Zambia because, yes, you're very fluent, you were very articulate, it was absolutely amazing, and you were very confident you decided to share it, isn't it?
Well, interesting that that video, I didn't share it myself.
Okay.
It was shared on my page,
Yeah.
but it was shared by Caristo Clear.
The late Caristo Clear.
The late Caristo Clear. He used to love social media. And at that time, I really didn't love the whole social media thing. But he was like, you need to put this. Like, you just don't know how people would appreciate it. And it was not just a viral video. It was a viral video that he had sponsored. Like, it had been sponsored.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly, yeah.
So he paid for it online.
Okay.
And yeah, I was really nervous because, I mean, that means you basically parading yourself for people to start judging. And you were right, the caption was pretty cocky, you know, like, oh yeah, this is the youngest. And he was like, no, we need to do this because it will provoke people's minds. And
he knew just what to do.
He knew exactly what, because he came back after the video went viral, and he was like, you see, I told you. So I wasn't exactly confident. I think that it was nudging from him that led to that video going
So
on.
you was more confident about it than you were?
Yeah, definitely, always. A lot of things. I mean, I think as the interview goes, but I guess that's sometimes what it's like. Other people will believe more than you will.
So, Diamond TV management at the time, before it was even Diamond Media, Diamond TV management at the time now caught wind of the video and said, we need this guy here. And that was the now CVO, and it's still the CEO of Diamond TV, said, I need this guy here. And he sent people out to look for you. And one of the guys who contacted you was our very own Chimunya Bobby, right?
Yes, he was the second.
Oh, second, okay.
He was the second because, well, obviously because Chimunya and I had a relationship before here. We used to work at Comet Radio together. I left him there. Then I think that's when he came to join Diamond. But there was one of my workmates there at QTV, at QFM and QTV. His name was Prince. He's Prince Sichula. Lazarus. Yeah, his name is Lazarus. He told me, he was like, Costa told me to tell you to call him. And he gave me the phone number. He wrote it on a piece of paper. At that time, to be honest with you, I didn't take it seriously because, again, as I've told you so many times, I'm not a Lusaka person. So, and Costa was known for being at movie TV. And I really didn't watch much of movie TV because I was not from here. And movie TV was much of a Lusaka TV channel to watch. So when they told me that I should call him, I mean, I knew who he was and I respected him in the media, but I just didn't know what we were going to talk about. Then Chimunya got in touch. He's like, oh, yeah, there's this. You should give him a call. So I called him. And he called for a meeting, for us to meet. It was a Wednesday when I called him. He said we should meet on Friday. That's how I came. And for some reason, everyone remembers what I was wearing when I came here.
Jonah had a snapback on.
A red snapback.
And now the CEO was telling us yesterday that you had a certain T-shirt for a telecommunications company. I don't know how true that is.
Yes, I think I can say what it is because they don't work anymore. It was, I think it was Amalevos. I had an Amalevos.
No, he mentioned a different brand.
Yeah, so he probably just forgot. I had a white T-shirt and it had Amalevos here. You know, Amalevos was a campain to the launch of Vodafone. Yeah, so I had that T-shirt and I had a red snapback and I had blue jeans. And I was wearing the snapback correctly, contrary to popular belief. I was wearing it just like this, and and then when I got here, I met you, Chimweka, and I can't believe why. I don't understand why you you were taking me to Francesca's office, who was the head of news and current affairs then, and he said,
No. You've got it wrong. So here's what happened. So when Jonah came, he was supposed to see, I think, the CEO, but he was not around, was he?
No. I was supposed to see her. Then she took me to him.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay. So he was supposed to see her. And the first person he saw was myself. Well, I think I'm the one who welcomed him or something. So I'm like, hey, I remember this guy from that video. Hey, okay. So, he said, 20-year-old. So this is a guy who's just come through. And you didn't actually meet Francesca, who was the head of news. You met then the sub-editor, who's now also former head of news, Mr. George Chomba. So I took you to I introduced you to Mr. George Chomba, and I was telling Mr. George Chomba, saying, "Whoa, Mr. Chomba, there's a young man who's coming here to see you," not knowing Jonah was very upset that I called him a young man.
It's like, who is this guy?
Till this day, he's still upset that I called him a young man. I don't understand. You're calling yourself the youngest newscaster, 20 years old, and someone calls you a young man, and you are pissed off about
Just
it.
not you, specifically. Anybody else, just not you. Because, first of all, I looked a lot older than you. And then here's this guy who just met me, and he's like, this young man who's here to... this guy.
Now, here's the video one of the videos that really made people at Diamond TV like his presentation with the news. Let's have a look at his first ever casting of the news at QTV.
Wow.
More news on QTV. The Forum for Democracy and Development, FDD, has challenged government to tell the nation how the $150 million the World Bank gave the country for irrigation has been utilized. FDD spokesperson Antonio Mwanza has told QTV News in an interview that there is an urgent need for the government to account how this money has been used, considering the nation is in dire need of more irrigation schemes. He says the country needs emergency irrigation projects in view of the prolonged dry spells being experienced in the country. Meanwhile, Mr. Mwanza says it is worrying.
So that was Dingindaba Jonah Buyoya of the news at QTV, his first ever casting of the news. How did that feel, Jonah? Tell us.
Well, I think that there's been such a transition. It's unbelievable. But I mean, I was only 20 years old, controversially so. But I haven't seen these videos in a very long time. So it's I don't even know. I'm short of words.
I got the team to look for the one that Caristo posted, but it got deleted with your page. Which was very, very annoying. And we didn't want to ask you for these videos. We wanted to find them ourselves. But there was another video as well which caught people's attention, and you eventually you got called here. But take us through now, you being in the CEO's office at the time. Do you remember the conversation you had with him?
I do. It was a very brief conversation. It was, hi, we've got this channel that we are opening and we would like you to be a part of the team. We think you are a good fit into it. And then I was asked this very interesting question. I think this question for me was a defining moment, really, for what the organization was going to think about me. They asked me how much money. And I really didn't overrate myself. I just said a very minimal amount of money, which was doubled, actually, after that meeting. But you see, that's because, and I think you know that as a friend of mine, that there's a way I view money, and I don't view it as the most important thing. I don't think it's such a huge attribute of somebody's work. So, and that's mainly what the conversation was. I did say, though, that I would get back to them within like a period. I think that was like a week. I would get back to them in a week to see what my decision was going to be, because I really needed to consult. So I went and I thought, I reflected, and I made the decision that I was going to jump ship.
And you know, there's also a whole debate on who had to get in touch with you, and because there's a whole argument earlier on today in the office where people like Wadi Michael, who claims he's the one who had to look for you, and Chimunya Bobby came through. There's Francesca in the mix as well. But you're right that at the time, Francesca Piribanda was the head of news, and you had to see at the time. Well, here's her account of things. Here is what she remembers prior to you coming through to Diamond TV and your work at Diamond TV. Let's have a look.
Okay.
So I first met Jonah when he came to Diamond TV after I saw a piece of his work on Facebook. Somebody had shared it. He was casting news at another TV station. And the moment I laid my eyes on that, I quickly ran to our boss, Silvio Costamansa, and I told him to say, boss, we need to have this guy on our team, because that's when Diamond TV was just starting, and we needed a young, vibrant team that was ready to do the work and also very passionate about what they were doing. And Jonah fit into that description. We had already started training journalists here, but with Jonah, he was one of those that needed very little training, if any needed at all, because it was just more about the house style as well. And he already had that flair that we're looking for. So fast forward, you know, he joins the Diamond team. He was very eager to do his work, very passionate. I like his work culture. You know, he was one of those who'd come in very early and go in late at night. So really starting this project with him, as in Diamond TV, with people such as himself on the team, made it really, really sort of easy for other team members, because we were able to rely on each other. So Jonah came here when he was only 20 years old, very young, but you could see that he was very serious with his work. He knew what he wanted, and he was one of those people who grasped things very quickly. So he really fit into the team, the Diamond team, that you know, Mr. Mwansa was envisioning to have. Working closely with him, John and I started the breakfast show together, one of the very first episodes, I think maybe even for the first 1 year or 6 months or so. We did the show together. It was good. I felt really challenged when I was presenting with Jonah, because he's one of those people who's very on his toes, and each time I would present with him, I would make sure that I also bring my A game. Despite being in the industry for so long, I learned quite a lot of things from Jonah, like, you know, being relaxed on set, and just also being able to bring in your own personality as well. So his work culture, good, and he was one of the very first young managers we had here. You know, I mean, he was a manager at just 20 years old, and he's been able to run that department successfully over the years. So I feel that even for him winning this BBC award, I mean, it's not even, for me, it's a no-brainer. The moment I heard he was nominated, I just told him, and he, you know, we laughed about it. So I feel very honored to be able to work with a young person who's very talented. It doesn't matter how long he's been in the industry, but what matters is what he's able to bring to the table. And very clearly, Jonah is one of those people who've been able to change the face of journalism in this country. Very evident coming in from the award, just the Komla Award, Komla Dumor Award that he's just won. So I think it's something very well deserved, and as a Diamond, I'm really, really proud of this achievement, and I feel that it's also an achievement for Diamond TV and the nation as a whole.
It only goes to show that Zambia has the requisite talent, and for us, we hope that this is only the beginning of many more, you know, awards on the international platform. I've been saying that, I mean, in a country where the quality and standards of journalism are usually frowned upon, it is elating to see that young people like Jonah can, you know, bring their magnus opus and really put journalism into the echelons of one where we can also be proud as a country. So it really means not only a lot to us as an institution, but to us as a country, and we'd like to say congratulations, you know, to John.
Definitely, congratulations are in order for Jonah, who's with us here. And before we saw the Diamond TV CVO, we heard from Francesca Piribanda, who's head of projects here at Diamond Media. But she put up something very interesting. At the age of 20, being a manager. Is this something that you saw coming, especially when you started working here?
You know what? I haven't actually thought about that until this moment. that yeah, this is not supposed to happen, especially not with me.
Don't take us to BBC.
Yeah, please. It's not the thing has fallen, but I'm hoping they're still able to hear me. But I really have never thought about that. That's it. That I was 20 years old, and no, I never thought about being in management, because when I came here, this establishment was pretty much solid, and there was a team in place, so I kind of had to fit in. But I guess. Our CVO Costa saw something together with the rest of the management, and they gave me the opportunity. It's only now that you mention it that I've looked at it that way. But and I guess I have a whole lecture when my children start going wild. I could literally give them case studies.
Well, it wasn't a bit weird being the management meetings, and there you are as a 20-year-old, and you have people who are 10, 15, 20 years older?
Well, my demeanor has never really been at the same pace as my age. Because I generally have a demeanor of an older person than I am.
Yeah.
I have found myself interacting a lot of times with people that are significantly older. So it was not exactly strange. It was, and the thing is, the management team at Diamond TV never treated me like I'm young, like they treated me just as they would treat everybody else. So I think that helped me fit in. I really never felt that like the typical, I'm in a scenario with older people and I'm scared, I'm intimidated. No, I really never experienced that.
What about members of the team, like of the department? Because again, the members of the department who were older. What was that like for you?
I'm trying to remember what I was like then compared to what I am now, because I when it comes to work, I really don't attach somebody's age to what we're going to do. So I don't know, maybe it was awkward when I started, but I think I adapted pretty quickly. Also, that we are in a creative space, a creative business. So the dynamics are a bit different from what the corporate world would be like.
Yeah.
We are a bit more flexible. People are a bit more fun. So you don't exactly have that old experience. We think like age mates basically. So it wasn't so much of a problem. Also, fortunately, maybe for me, I didn't have like that wild gap in terms of age. Maybe the oldest could have been like 13, 14 years older, or 10, somewhere there, I think. So it wasn't that huge gap, I think. I'd
asked that you come through with your national registration card because I know it's been an ongoing debate. We know that, yes, you're age 25, and that's what has been put out there as an award winner yourself. But people don't tend to believe that. They think you are much older. Is this something that you've struggled with all your life?
Kind of. Even in high school, I used to have moments where, my classmates, I had pretty much the same classmates from grade 8 to 12. So those ones kind of knew me, and they know my story and everything. But there was some who were not my classmates, like when they school, and then they find out like I'm 16 in grade 12, and I don't look 16, I don't seem 16, so they would kind of doubt it. It wasn't much of a big deal for me, but I've noticed it is a big deal for my mom, for my siblings, because they know how old I am, so they find it unfair that people would assume that I'm not as I'm not as young or as old as I would be said to be. So I know that yesterday, apparently, my brother was responding to almost every social media comment that was talking about my age, like, oh, nobody is, and I've seen there's some people, but sometimes, it can get frustrating, because, why would you just wake up and lie about your age? I'm not, age has got no connotation to the type of work I do, and also, Lately, I've been avoiding it. I've been avoiding having to talk about my age, like have it there. But I've noticed that it's intriguing sometimes. And I'll give you an example, like this award. It was intriguing and it was a necessary detail to add because nobody my age has been able to get the award so far. And I think that that's the reason why the BBC added it. But the moment I saw that, I knew that it was going to be a significant part of the conversation. Fortunately, it didn't derail the actual award, but it was a significant part of the conversation. He can't be 25. If he's 25, then I'm still in my mother's womb. If he's 25, then I'm 14. If it's so that that can get irritating.
And it's a very common one. We'll actually continue on that and allow for you as well to come through. If you have anything to say to Jonah, the phone lines will be open for you to do so when we get back.
Diamond, diamond, yeah. Oh yes, I am shining like a diamond. Oh yeah, I am shining like a.
Welcome back. You're still watching this exclusive interview with Dingindaba Jonah Buyoya as we go through his journey, through his media career, his personal life. We touched briefly on his age, which I know for others is still a big deal. Find it very, very hard to believe. And anyway, we'll get to more on that. We'll get more on that. But I'd like to touch on the aspect of your family. How does your family feel about you being in the media? I mean, from the get-go, you being at Comet FM, eventually going to QFM, and now. Look at the picture. This is a picture of Jonah, by the way. He was 2 years old here. He was 2 years old.
I was four. I was 4. My goodness. Shit.
This is a 2 or 1 year sick over there. That was his age, and that was him hanging out with all the big kids. Because no one would believe that. But how does your family feel about you being in the media space?
Well, I think my family has been very supportive.
Yeah.
I am very lucky to have I think I have a pretty liberal family. They are not, they're not very materialistic. They are not very pushy with people's expectations. Yeah. So I think I could safely say that all my siblings have had the luxury of enjoying what they want, not exactly anybody imposing. So they've been pretty supportive of my media. And sometimes they really just mind their business. You know how siblings can be. It's while everybody else is going to see a Komla Dumor Award winner, they just see a sibling that they want to fight all the time. But they've been pretty supportive.
How did your mom feel about the you winning this award? Did she understand the impact of this?
I was about to say that she just thinks it's one of those things. Because when I told her, again, I've known about this for a reasonable amount of time.
Yeah.
So I was allowed to at least tell her. When I told her, she literally told me, she's like, I don't know what that is, but congratulations on it.
Yeah.
But yesterday, she's been pretty unwell. So yesterday was very interesting because she was excited. She's got a Facebook account. So she was seeing, I think that's when she realized, she's like, oh, what is this?
Yeah.
Like, what's happening?
Yeah.
And that's how we talked on the phone. She was very, very happy. She was very happy. She told me everybody was so happy. And she realized just how big it was. Except I have to say, when I told her the first time, and I told her that I had to go to London to work in the BBC, she wasn't she wasn't that excited about that, like, oh, you're going, But I told her, I'm like, no, I mean, it's a global village, but she wasn't exactly very happy, that, because, for her, she's losing a son who's gonna go away. So that was a bit bittersweet moment. But I think now she's adapted to it, and she's pretty happy.
Yeah, and then you've got other relatives who are replying to all kinds of messages of people who are in disbelief, and for them also it must be a pretty good feeling where I mean, you know this person like that, and everybody is celebrating their life.
I've gotten messages from relatives that I haven't talked to in a long time.
Yeah.
For me, I initially thought it was going to be a bit annoying, you know, like where have you been? But I also realized that I've not been in contact either. So I think it was also going to feel bad if they didn't congratulate.
Yeah.
You know, so that has been happening, and it's been a good feeling. It's been a good feeling, a uniting feeling. You know, that just feeling that just you'd like to keep going on because everybody feels so bonded and yeah.
Before we get to your work in the media and what you've done, and also talking about the award in itself, how do you also manage to strike a balance between your work life and your social life? Because maybe others have gotten to know this now, that when it comes to weekend, you also respect your weekend. I think you're the work hard, play hard type. One moment you're interviewing a politician, one moment this is you, and people eventually even make some memes out of some of these things. They just ride with it and just have.
Oh my goodness! Oh my goodness! I never expected this, but I managed to strike the balance because I'm very lucky that my social life is pretty close to my work. My friends I work with. So it's a very easy transition to make, to be honest. It has never been a difficult transition to make because most of my friends work here.
Yeah.
And if it's going to be a friend that doesn't work here, it's probably a mutual friend that I've known through you guys. So that has been very easy to strike that balance. And yeah, so I think that's the fortunate side. Also, I've got to say that the environment has been made a bit more comfortable for you to have a social life even within the workspace, you know. I know that our CVO encourages all of us, you know, to interact here, you know, and he tries as much as possible to keep transforming it so that it can accommodate you when you want to have a social moment. You could argue that he would obviously love that his employees are here the whole time, but
At the plantation.
yeah, exactly. But you understand that the relationships that have been built here are beyond just the organization. Even with him, you know, it's not a typical boss-employee relationship. You have moments where you bond with him, and he really enjoys that. And I think we've all come to start enjoying that. So yeah, that makes it really easy.
Yeah. But also when you go out, because of your brand, you cast the news, you interview all these politicians, and maybe people see you out there dancing like that, and they're thinking, what in the world is going on? What is this guy doing? Probably people expecting you to keep a certain image even you go out. Do you ever feel like maybe I need to keep that image going at a certain place and behave a certain way, despite you wanting to have fun?
I don't. Well, one thing for sure is I don't consider myself a celebrity because of the type of work I do. I am more. The thing is, it's like real life. This is like real life. This is not an acting thing. Like we're not staging this. This is real life. So, the older I've grown, by the way, I have learned to just live my life the way I want to live it because I'm responsible enough to know when to stop. I'm responsible enough to know what is good or bad. So I just live my life as I please. I'm obviously not going to do any outrageous thing that's going to injure my work or injure me. I haven't done that. But I would find it really strange if people thought there was anything wrong with someone dancing at a club. At what was that place? That was an event. At an event, I would find it really strange that they would find that to be unusual. So, and I won't lie to you. I honestly, it's the least of my worries. I think that if what would become my worry would be if people are concerned about my work and the delivery then I would be
Do
concerned.
you think it also matters where you go and do these dances?
Yeah, I think it does. There's obviously several places I wouldn't go to.
I think you need to think about your answer carefully because we have that one friend who is very capable of taking us to the most random places.
But it's only because I don't like those places.
Yeah.
If I did, I would go. But I also just wanna have a good time, and sometimes in those certain places, it's very difficult to just have a good time.
Yeah.
So,
But you still find a way of convincing you to be there.
sometimes.
Yeah.
Sometimes, and it always ends up disastrous.
Yeah. You know what? Let's actually hear from this friend. Here's Jonah's best friend, Ephraim.
So I can trace the friendship to as far back as I think 5 years ago when I joined Diamond TV. We were not cool buddies at first because I don't know, because I never knew him. We never really got to talk and all that. But as time went on, we started interacting, and I discovered that he's actually a cool person to be around. And I think that's how we became friends from that moment. That's still 5 years ago. I think we joined Diamond TV almost at the same time, though he joined a few months before me. But when we became friends, I discovered that he's actually more of a good person than I thought. And as time went on, we actually moved in together. We actually stayed together for years until sometime in 2020. And as time went on, we became best friends. And I think one thing that is outstanding for me is the fact that he is somebody that's a dreamer, somebody that's a go-getter, and somehow it actually inclines to my personal values, because I want something good. I want what's best for myself, and that's what I see in him. And having a friend like him just pushes me. I mean, if you have somebody that shares your dreams, understands your dreams, and wants something good for you, wants you to go higher, I feel it's something that I value so much. And when he told me about the results, like the announcement, I was a bit shocked, but not entirely shocked, because I know he is one person that will go even higher than this, because he's a go-getter, like I said. He wants more for himself. He wants to outdo himself. So I think that's all I can share. I think he's a good person. He's my best friend, and I appreciate him.
Some nice words from Ephraim.
I think that's the nicest thing he's ever said to me.
Right? You never say it in your face.
He'll never say it in my face, and I can't believe you guys got him to say those things on TV. It's just, did he know that I was going to see this stuff? Did he think it was going to be uploaded on the dark web or something?
Okay, here's the catch. We had to convince him to tell him that you agreed to go to one of those dodgy places. You don't want to be.
Why did you lie?
It's the best we could do to make him agree. But moving in together, you know.
Yeah, but I don't even know what to say.
Yeah.
I genuinely don't know what to say, because he's a huge part of my life, because he's a brother, and our energy is just aligned. He's very right that we are both dreamers. You'd think we're kids when we sit down and talk about all these great things that we're gonna do. Sometimes they are a bit ridiculous, because like they are way out of our reach at the moment.
Yeah.
But we really do dream big, and he's a very good influence in my life, and has been a decent influence in my life for the good and bad decisions also. Because there's been some pretty bad decisions.
I'm happy you've been honest with that. But what you're also very ambitious with is your work. I think what stands out about you is you really dream big, and you make the most out of whatever you have at that time, whatever resources are available. You really actually stand for the best, world
That's
class.
the nicest thing you have ever said.
No. You know, and I'm actually getting to something. I want to read out Jonah's. It's a quote that Jonah uses very often. I don't want to misquote it, so I'm trying to get the actual words. And here they are. He actually posted something about this at some point. Hi, my name is Dingindaba Jonah Buyoya. I'm a multi-award-winning TV host, journalist, and ultimately a big-time patriot. I have a dream that one day and soon, Zambian TV will thrive and will convince the Zambian citizens that we are well capable of being your first choice. I believe that the world has only one standard. It doesn't matter where you come from. Once you meet that standard, success is not even a question. And allow me to introduce you to some of my work. Before we even talk about your work, this quote right here, isn't it ironic that we talk about this now?
It is. I've been saying this for a long time. I've been saying this from 2017, that I believe the world has only one standard. It doesn't matter where you come from. Once you meet that standard, success is not even a question. It's because I always feel like anything that is outstanding is going to be noticed by someone, at least. And I feel when something outstanding is noticed, then there's only one way. That's onward and upwards. So I have such a strong belief, and this was on the 5th of April. I have such a strong belief that, because this was very emotional, because you Chimweka, being in the media, know that generally people look down, on Zambian media.
And that's why Costa wants to say what he said as well. Yeah,
exactly. So for me, it's pretty emotional, because I'm like, okay, why do you think we can't do it? We are right here trying as much as we can, because the truth is we don't have as much as what the rest of the world has, because our media industry is still growing. But with whatever we have, we try to do what we can. So why do people always look down? So it's a pretty emotional thing. And I hope that as time goes by, everybody will realize that there's just one standard, and that standard is met. Once you achieve that standard, success is not a question.
What would you say has been your favorite piece of work over the years? I know there's so many to pick out from, but what comes to your mind first? I mean, there's a lot has happened in terms of the election coverage. There's a lot has happened with the different interviews you've done, or just different pieces from different places. What comes to your mind?
I think that, I have to be honest, the election was electric. I thank goodness you didn't ask me my least favorite, but the election was electric, because that was the first time we were fully covering an election. It was just us doing it. It was a young team of people doing it, and we had a lot of content. We were holding the nation, and that's such a huge responsibility to bestow on a group of young people like we were. But I thoroughly enjoyed it. I did it without batting an eye, because it was long hours of work, which when I look back, I even ask, I'm like, how were we able to do that? But the adrenaline, being at the Mulungushi International Conference Center, you cannot sleep. It's like a reality show. I was telling you this.
Yeah.
It's like a Big Brother. You just sit down. There's Pomonga doing something. You just try to sit down. There's Gary Nkombo who is there just shouting. You try to, there's always something happening. Even if the commissioners are not announcing anything, there's Doreen Mwamba there who's just ripping papers. There's always something happening. And there's just no way you're gonna sleep. So it was an exciting moment. I really, really treasured that period.
Here are some things that people also know you for in terms of what you've done. And I know one of these is part of your favorites. Let's have a look.
Zambia
has been operating in the country since 2009. Over the past 12 years, the bank prides itself in innovation, making it possible for their customers to do business in an easier, better way. Today, the bank celebrates 1,000 plus Cash Plus agents across the country in all the 10 provinces. That is why we will be speaking with the Chief Executive Officer of FNB Zambia, Biden Longwe, to explain to us why this is important for the bank and why the public should celebrate with them.
I know this is one of your favorite.
It is.
You really love this.
I love this.
And you know, we're talking about it, the team. So one member of the team is like, oh my goodness, let's not forget Jonah really loved that clip. Because, and I'd agree, because he played it like 85 times that day. As soon as he was done, it was all he was playing throughout.
I loved, you know, there are some things that you will do and you love your delivery.
Yeah.
I really loved the delivery on this. You know, the walk-in and the thing, and I didn't miss a line, and I didn't get the information wrong. The background was pretty decent. Also, it was a pretty big interview for me because it was a CEO of a big bank like FNB, and we had to be honest, we had a pretty meaningful chat. We had a pretty meaningful conversation. So that, for me, stands out. I really, it excites me.
And recently, I know you also got pretty emotional in the last couple of weeks. But I guess it happens. It's part of the production process.
Yeah.
And this happened.
A show favorite, who I know many hearts were broken when he left the show. Cosmos. Please stand. Come through. By the way, this is unscripted. It's not Jonah's script. This is the CEO's script. You look dapper. Cosmos, welcome back to the presentation. I watched you throughout the whole competition. You're straight out of school. You and I had an exit interview. If you are interested to take up the media business, we are ready to take you on as an intern. I see the potential. I see the potential of you becoming a great journalist. Well done. So, if you're interested, I know you're crying, maybe you don't want the job. If you're interested, please make time next week to visit our news manager. And I know that when you and I talked in my office, you want to get into journalism school, and we'll make that happen for you. Well done. Well done. Well,
A lot of emotion there, eh?
A lot of emotion. I don't like crying. It's a very, sometimes it's very overwhelming. But that was a very great moment. Cosmos is a member of the Change Academy, which is a movement that is there to train young Zambian journalists and also advocate against sexual gender-based violence. So I was very proud, and I was very genuinely happy for him because I know how hungry he is for this. So it was a very happy moment for me. Very happy moment.
Well, I know that was a very, very interesting moment. And I guess there's one other aspect that we need to talk about before we actually conclude. which was this moment that some people also know you for. Let's have a look.
In Uganda, and is being widely followed as few people dared to criticize the country's first family. Nyanzi was charged with cyber harassment and offensive communication earlier this month on the 10th of April 2017 after she called Yoweri Museveni a pair of buttocks, I beg your pardon, and his wife empty-brained in a Facebook post. Coming up is...
And I know it resurfaced during this period.
Yeah, it does.
Saying this is the award winner.
Yeah. It's like a traditional ceremony now because it happened just when we started. It was 2017.
Yeah.
So every year around May, April, May, it just gets back online. It was a funny story. I think it didn't get me in trouble. I didn't get in trouble. I think the whole crew was laughing at the story. So when I watch it, I find it funny sometimes. And I find Stella Nyanzi a very interesting woman because that's not the worst thing she's ever said about Yoweri Museveni. She said way worse things. But
Jonah, there's a lot you and I can talk about. I don't even know why they asked me to do this because we can go on and on. There's so much we can talk about. But we have to talk about the award in itself. This is a milestone achievement. We say this at the beginning. First for Zambia, first for Southern Africa. You have done it the youngest. This is surreal. This is amazing. And now you go for 3 months, get mentorship with BBC journalists at the BBC headquarters itself. This is absolutely amazing. And there's so many things that people would like to find out. You know, how you actually applying for this. I know you've got a very interesting story for how you participated. You're not interested at first, but someone forced you into it?
Well, not that I wasn't interested. I wasn't ready.
Oh, you're ready.
To participate this year. It's a coveted award, and because of that, I had a lot of self-doubt. You know, like, am I really ready to do it now? So my friend Zumani, he literally kept forcing me to do it. He was saying, "But I think you are," and one of the things that really prompted me to do it was he said, you've got nothing to lose. If you apply now and you don't make it, then you apply again because they don't bar you from applying. And when he said that, I thought to myself, well, oh, okay, let me do it. I took a decent amount of time just writing because it's a pretty rigorous process. But eventually managed to do it. And it's like you say, it's surreal. It is still sinking in, and yeah.
I know our CVO might not want to listen to this part here, but if you're made to choose to stay that side, come back here, what could your decision be?
I'm going to be very honest. I don't know. I really haven't. It's a very difficult decision. It's not a very easy decision to make. That's because, and I said this morning when I was on the Red Hot Breakfast. I said, this is because I love this place. You know, I love this place, and I have dreams for this place. I have dreams for my career here. But I also have to be reasonable enough to acknowledge that I wouldn't just say no. I'm not gonna. It would take a lot of thought.
Yeah.
And I need to put a lot of things into context, into perspective. It would have to be a bittersweet moment. But from the bottom of my heart, I don't know what I can do. I genuinely don't know. I don't want to think about that right now.
But just run us through two main things. When you just got the news that you have won this, let's start from there. How you're feeling that day? What was going through your mind? And crazy enough, obviously, because you couldn't share it with the rest of the world.
When I got the news, because I've been following this award pretty closely. You know, I've followed the Komla Dumor Award process for a long time, and I kind of have known what the techniques are. So when I was told that there was going to be another meeting, I had a hint, and I was thinking to myself, I'm like, did I just win it? But I wasn't sure. When the meeting was actually happening, and Emily, who is the director of special projects, she was alone in there.
Mm-hmm.
And she said, I'm just going to have to record this because the other judges are not here, so they'll have to watch it later. I said, I think we might have just won this.
Mm-hmm.
And like a few seconds later, she told me. But it was really exciting, but I had to contain myself because I was in public. I was told this news when I was at the Global Media Forum. So I literally, and I couldn't cancel the appointment. So I literally just stepped out and went where it was a bit quiet. And then I took out my computer and I was having this. So I needed to contain myself.
Mm-hmm.
But I came out of that meeting a very happy guy, like I was just unnecessarily happy, But I couldn't say why I was happy. I did, however, tell our chief visionary officer because I was allowed to tell him. Also because of the 3 months, they have got to be aware of that. So I did inform him, and I was allowed to inform my mother as well. So it was exciting. But yesterday also was like it was also me finding out.
Yeah.
It was like finding out all over again. In fact, not all over again. Now this was like, because from that time to now, I was thinking, anything can happen, What if COVID comes back? Like, all these things, I kid you not, I thought about all these things.
Yeah.
And that's because the award wasn't there in 2021 because of COVID. The winner of 2020 had to go to the BBC only last year because, and imagine she had to keep that secret for a year. Yeah, so I was thinking about all those things, just what if I die? I was thinking about all those things, and it was.
Here's what we're going to do, Jonah. I've just been told we've been blessed with an additional 15 minutes. Well, it's less now. We're going to open the phone lines.
Oh, okay.
We'll allow people to call in. I know you've been getting calls back to back from yesterday. How often are you getting calls? Every 2 minutes? Every 3?
It's ringing. Yeah. And I'm
saying, okay, since we can't call in here, let's call him.
Let's call him.
Let's call him right there.
Yeah, but it's been overwhelming. And one thing is, each one of the people that have been calling or sending messages.
So I'll just hold you there. So we've actually opened the phone line. So the number will be on your screen soon. I guess it is now. So you can call in and speak with Jonah. You're just talking about how overwhelming it's been the last couple of days.
Yeah, and everyone that calls has a story to them. Like it's not some people I can't remember, but they've all got a story to tell. Some of them, hello, we haven't officially talked. I got your number for business. We were supposed to do this, but I just wanted to congratulate. So everybody has got like a sort of story, and it's just when I sit down and think about it, it's really humbling because none of them owe me this, like these are just people that are living their normal lives. They don't know me. I'm not their relative, but they take time out of their busy schedule to say, let me congratulate this person. They take time to send a message. They take time to inbox on the internet. Just imagine that, you can.
And one of those, sorry to cut you, but one of those was the Republican president. How did you feel about that?
It was a very exciting thing. The president, we're talking about the president of the country, but I have to be honest with you, I wasn't very surprised. I was way more excited when his wife congratulated.
Because she did it first.
Yeah, she did it first.
In the morning.
Yeah, and that caught me off guard. I'm just being honest. I think that lately the president has been congratulating everybody that's doing something in the country and everything. So I wasn't really surprised when he did it, but his wife, I was super excited because she's not the president. She doesn't have that kind of obligation. Nobody would question why she hasn't done it. So I really, really, it moved me. Now imagine both the president and the first lady.
Yeah, so.
Just some random guy that they're talking about is really humbling.
Well, clearly not so random, and that's why Kampamba chose to also call in right now. Kampamba, good evening.
Good evening, Cheswa. Is it not Cheswa?
Chimweka.
Chimweka. And good evening, Jonah. Congratulations on your award.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it, Kampamba.
Okay, yeah, I'm a huge follower of you, but I would just want to learn one or two things from you. Are you a trained journalist, or maybe you've got another profession? Then my other question would be, how do you hope to use the experience you're going to learn from the BBC when you return back home? Thank you.
All right.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Kampamba, for coming through. Your response to that?
I am a journalist. I am pursuing my. I don't know if I'm allowed. Should I say this? I can't say the institution. I should just say.
Yeah.
A Bachelor of Arts in Mass Communication and Public Relations, which is one of the prerequisites actually for this award. You need to be. You need to have or be in the process of acquiring it. So yes. The other question was what
you plan on doing with the experience from the BBC?
To further my career. The experience with the BBC for me is more about learning. There's an art that I've been talking about for a long time now, and it's the art of being able to tell compelling stories that these compelling stories that not necessarily attached to you, but you can relate. You know what I mean? Like you watch a story, it's from, I don't know, Ireland or something, and you watch it, you can get the comprehensive understanding of the story, even if you don't live there. I really want to know how to do that, and that's what I'm aiming for. And I would like to establish that. But I mean, I forgot to talk about my usual unsuccessful stint with a law degree. Every time...
I'm going to bring it up. That's what I was saying. I'm trying by all means not to bring some things up,
yeah.
But you've brought it up yourself.
Every time that I get so into it, and as far as 3 years, but I just get overwhelmed with work and overwhelmed with everything, and I put it on hold every single time. Hopefully, it will also come to pass someday. But well, at the moment, I think I've got my priorities pretty straight set on what I've been doing, what I love to do, and the several trainings that I've also gotten outside what I'm doing at the moment.
Yeah. There's also a few things that I know my team here, the producers as well, would like to find out. That I'm sorry, but
is it about relationships?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, they're not that predictable.
Okay.
They're really not that predictable. But I think there's also people wanting to see the side of Jonah that people see over the weekend on TV as well. You used to do a show called Try Not to Laugh, which you gave up on.
No, I didn't. I handed over to a very capable gentleman in you.
Yeah, but even with people seeing that side of you as well on TV and it carrying on with you continuing as a BBC journalist, is that another side that people will be seeing more on you? If you had to come back to Diamond TV, you doing more of the reports, you being more in the newsroom as opposed to you only presenting? Is that something you're considering?
Yes, it is. I have developed this interest in that, and I think that why not do it? We're talking, the person that is behind this inspiration used to do both. And I'm looking at the endless list of great journalists. They do both. I also want to live the full circle. I want to have the full experience. I've done a few before, but I think I have to do a lot more. The dynamics are a bit different because I've got a whole admin job that I do on the other hand, so that is a lot more involving. So I know I need to find a way of juggling that, but it's definitely something I'm going to start.
So we could look forward to a reporting for Diamond TV. This is Dingindaba Jonah Buyoya.
Yeah, I don't know if you've never seen it before, but it has happened. I don't know, where have you been?
No, can we expect it more often?
Yeah.
Can we expect it, say, tonight, 3-4 months from now?
Well, not tonight, but yeah, you should definitely expect it soon.
There's more congratulatory messages to come through, but yes, the team wanted to find out about Jonah's relationship. A question that has been coming up also in the comment section. Is Jonah married? Is Jonah Happily married? Is he?
I'm not married. I'm not married, and I don't know how this affects the journalism. uh, I'm not married, but I am not unmarried either.
This is the most I've heard you stammer ever since I've ever known you on TV. I've never heard Jonah stammer. This is a guy who's very articulate, very fluent, having a hard time speaking here.
Well, because it's a very complex issue to talk about.
Yeah.
But I'm not married, but I'm unavailable.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So just I think it's also good for me to focus on the job and whatever is making me unavailable.
Yeah. There's a list of people who want to congratulate you. And before we actually do that, we've got somebody on the line, which we'll just take as our last call for this evening. Good evening.
Good evening. Thank you. Jonah, how are you?
Fine, thanks. How are you?
Yeah, I must say you've done us proud.
Thank you.
And having gone through 2020, 2021 issues of COVID, as a Zambian, personally started to feel not so good, followed by, political turmoil and there. But like your name and you putting Zambia on the world map, that just brings out that patriotism in most of us.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
I must say, I fell in love with you when you were conducting one interview with one politician we will not name. But this politician did offer some items on himself to be cut off, but haven't been cut off as yet.
Oh, is it?
Yes. And then, he tried to use a tribal card on you, but you maintained composure. And you kept the interview on track until the very end. I think from that day, I started to pay close attention just on your words and how you do things. I just want to say congratulations, and may the good Lord just guide you and give you that wisdom that you need, okay?
Thank you so much. That means a lot. I really appreciate it.
Thanks.
All right, thank you for coming through, and Ndashi all the way from Kitwe. And wrapping it up for the calls this evening. But before I go, two things. One, still on relationships. Tell us about your... I wish we could see your reaction. We're still talking about your relationships. I would like for you... I'm sorry to put you on the spot like this, but I would like for you to tell us, as far as your relationships are concerned, your relationship with your co-hosts. What? How do you also manage to maintain that? Because you're one person who you have a good social life with people from the department, from other departments as well, and for some of these people, it spills on air. For those who don't go on air with, still within the department, to keep them happy, to keep them, in the vibe, to still come to work and get things done. How do you manage to keep that relationship with people?
Well, I think that obviously prompts a lot of mixed reactions because some days are bad, some days are good. I like to also tap into people's good side, but I also, you'll agree with me, really like to get results. And sometimes that can be overwhelming on people, and sometimes they don't like it when I'm very pushy with them. And it's always important to strike a balance. So when you have a very tough day, it's also important to look at people's fun side.
Yeah. Jonah is a type also. He can rant and yell at people, and 15 minutes later, he would talk like nothing happened. And that's Jonah for you. It's like, what do you mean? We had this whole thing going on. But how do you also keep that with the CVO? Because he's that type of person as well. He can be very, very upset. And another moment, say a meeting is done, he would just talk about something like, did you watch last night's game?
Yeah. Well, I guess it's the professional side of things, because when he is angry, is not angry at your person. It's really about what has not been done or has not been done correctly. But it would be naive to believe that it's not going to affect you emotionally. It will, and I think that it is emotional intelligence to observe that, okay, this has affected this person, and to simmer it down, you've got to also recognize that that was just the professional side that doesn't exactly affect the personal side. So it's a very important thing to do, because you don't want to create the impression that you just don't like people, which is unprofessional anyway. So you want to strike a balance.
Yeah. Jonah, many people have come through to say congratulations to you, and we'll also play a bit more of the people who've done so from the team here at Diamond TV. I know it's been an overwhelming 2 days, I guess a good kind of overwhelming, and I know you have a lot of gratitude for everyone who's come through, and they're certainly expecting the best from you as you go and represent Zambia, and all we can say is we wish you all the best.
Thank you, and I'm really, really grateful. It's very difficult. I mean, I've been thinking about how to say thank you the right way, right? Because, you know, there's some people maybe that are important in society, and their messages could have been missed, their posts could have been missed, and they might take that the wrong way. But I'm really grateful. Some of these things I've not even seen. Some of these things I have seen, but there are so many people, and I just want to thank the entire country for how they have supported me. They should be proud. This is about them anyway, also, because one of the major things that was coming out is how it's Zambia and the first in Southern Africa. So for me, I'm really grateful, and I'm hoping that there's going to be more wins for our country, and we've demonstrated how united we can get.
Well, Jonah, thank you for sitting with us today and telling us your story. I know there's more we can talk about. We probably need a part 2 already there to extend our time. Thank you, because there's a lot to get into. And thank you as well, the viewer, for tuning in to this exclusive conversation with Dingindaba Jonah Buyoya. We're going to play out with some congratulatory messages. First of all, I'd also like to thank the team that put everything together today, the production team, the active producers, Sharon Tembo, as well as George Piri. Thanks as well for all the work here. But before we even get their congratulatory messages, let's start off with one from our very own newscaster, Tokozile Malao. You can catch her on the Diamond News Desk at 8, which will be coming up in just a few minutes for tonight's edition. Not to say she's the one coming through tonight, but you can look out for her during the...
Wait, is it me? No, it's not.
Casting. Then you need to change real quick and make a plan. So here are some messages to congratulate you. Good night.
Colleague, baby, your hard work really has paid off. I wish you all the best for the next part of your journey. Congratulations once again. Zambia Kuchalo!
Oh yeah, I am shining like that.
Hi Jonah, congratulations on bagging the BBC Komla Dumor Awards. That's a huge milestone. You're a huge inspiration to the rest of us here in the production room. That means you've set the bar really high. The challenge has already been set, so we are hoping we could be able to surpass you in the near future. But congratulations on this one. We're really proud of you as Diamond Media. I'm proud, I'm really inspired and motivated. All the best.
Oh yeah, I am shining like that.
Jonah, congratulations on your success. You are such an inspiration to each and every one of us going forward. Thank you so much for being a hard worker. Thank you so much for being that one individual who is always pushing us to become better. The sky's the limit. It's only upwards from here. Congratulations.
Oh yeah, I am shining like that.
Hi Jonah, congratulations on winning the BBC Komla Dumor Award for the year 2022. It is such an inspiration personally to have you be the one representing Zambia and Southern Africa as a whole. I trust that you will do us all very proud when you go to the BBC, and we're hoping to learn as much as we can from you. You're such an inspiration to me and everyone else in the production team, and we can't wait to see just what you'll bring to the table. Congrats once more and good luck.
Oh yeah, I am shining like that.
Congratulations, Jonah, for winning the BBC's Komla Dumor Award for the year 2022. I know that this is something that you've been striving for, and now that it's finally come to light, it just goes to show what one can do once they're determined, and surely you have been through the course of your career, and we can only hope that you carry along with this mantle of leadership that you possess, and your prowess definitely will show forth as it has. So congratulations once again.
Yes, I am shining like a diamond, 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 diamond. Oh yeah, I am shining like a diamond, 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 diamond. Yeah. Oh yes, I am shining like a diamond, 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 diamond. Oh yeah, I am shining like a diamond, 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 diamond. Yeah. Oh yes, I am shining like a diamond, 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 diamond. Oh yeah, I am shining like a diamond, 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 diamond. Yeah. Oh yes, I am shining like a diamond, 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 diamond.